at you, brave souls.
can retell the things that befell us? Who can tell them? In every age a hero and sage came to our aid. Oh my goodness, you all make me so happy.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're so glad you were able to join us. I know it's a very brave day to be outside, but in here it's nice and
The
warm.
Maccabees would be proud.
They would be, I guess. It's great to have you. Happy Hanukkah, everybody, and Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Javier Carapan, and I am joined this evening by Leslie Zucker and our wonderful musicians. A special thank you to our Bow Committee, who week after week, year after year now, because it's been the third year, bring us beyond our walls. And tonight, I think, is a special night because I know many of you chose to be home and be warm and safe, and we want to be with you anyways, and so here we are.
And the rest of us are some strange combination of brave and or foolish.
We have a sense of duty. That's what we do. It is Hanukkah after all.
It is warmer not being alone.
That's true. For those of you here in person, a reminder that we're calling the pages in the square brackets, excuse me, and also make sure that your electronic devices are turned off. So this is the only night of Hanukkah when we have Shabbat. It's always one Shabbat in Hanukkah because, Hanukkah lasts 8 nights and the week is only 7, so it's meant to be one Shabbat always. And on Shabbat, Hanukkah, what? Well, yeah, it could happen, but it's normally at least one. And so when that happens, normally, now already it's dark, but if we were lighting the Shabbat candles at right at sunset, we will actually light the Chanukiah before sunset, which is not what you were taught to do, but that's true except on Erev Shabbat. So if you brought a Chanukiah, and I see a couple here, please join us on the bima as we light them together. And at home, if you have a Chanukiah ready to go, get ready. We've been lighting Chanukiot every night at 6:30, and tomorrow and on Sunday we'll do it again 2 more times. At 6:30, you can join us for that. So tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. So for those of us here and at home, go ahead and light the shamash. They can use one of these if they need to. I go ahead and light them. So. Let's go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehamekeh shel Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim l'avotenu, hayamim hahem, b'azman hazeh.
just want to assure everybody that we do know where the fire extinguishers are. I'm looking at both of them right here. So should that happen, there's one right there by the exit, and there's another one in the little compartment right here by the exit. So if you feel that is needed, you can run for the one of them and help us. Because we'll be distracted with the service. I just want to let you know, because you'll be watching them and you go like, oh my gosh, they're going to...
So pretty.
It's beautiful. When we had 10 or 20 of those in there, it's good to know where the
Yes.
fire extinguisher is. Especially when we get to the 6th and the 7th and 8th night. Wonderful. So, more candles. Now that we have our candles for Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, Chag Sameach, I would like to invite the Speisman Loggia family to join us on page 120 as we welcome Shabbat. And again, at home, if you have candles ready, we invite you to light them and join us in the blessing. I love your attire. You read your email. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. We continue together on page 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own way, be among those who kindle light. We continue together at the bottom of page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings, O God. We continue welcoming Shabbat on page 130. As we join together in words from Psalm 95, Lechu Neranena.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Adonai. Nahia, nahia, letzure ishengu, lekadov anav betodah. Nahia, nahia, letzur ishengu, bizmirot nahia lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Adonai.
Service continues with Lecha Dodi on page 138. We're singing together stanzas 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, all the odd numbered.
Lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה,
שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל עמך אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, שנוציא פרד בלי תהילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, תומית זהי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עליכם לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורק קומי אורי, 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 שתדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך לגלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. והיו לנשיסה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבעלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסוס חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, עיני שבת נקבלה. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Arechu. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Amen. Continue together on page 157 at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We continue together in the middle of page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, O guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. God, our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלחל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. I just apologize now.
Well, I was wondering if you have, you do not have page 556 in square brackets. I can guarantee you, you do not. It's there, but we don't remember what page it is on. Because that's on the big book. If you have the big book, it's on page 556. You know, it's because we've been doing so many things digitally that we didn't care about the actual book, you know, last year, because we were still more digital.
Listen to this beautiful prayer
It's a
recited.
This is the
for
one
you by
time
the rabbi.
we read this prayer. Now, hold on a second.
Did you find this page? Is it in your book? Oh, it is in the book. Ha, ha,
Very
ha.
good. What page is it on?
In the brackets, yeah.
Awesome. Isn't she great?
I was so ready to be wrong.
Well, we just had a doubt. Join us. This is a special insertion for the thank you Hoda'ah prayer of the standing prayer of the Amidah, specifically about Hanukkah. And this is sort of an abbreviated story of Hanukkah, slightly different, but very similar to what we're familiar with. In the days of the Hasmoneans, Mattathias ben Yohanan, the high priest, and his children, when the evil government of Greece rose up against your people Israel to make them forget your Torah and to make them leave the laws of your will, In your great mercy, you rose up with them in their time of trouble and fought in their fight, judged their cause just. You delivered the mighty into the hands of the weak, the many into the hands of the few, and the unclean into the hands of the pure, the evil into the hands of the righteous, and the arrogant into the hands of those who engage in your Torah. For you made a great and holy name in your world, and for your people Israel, you brought about the great triumph and redemption on that very day. And when your children came to the Holy of Holies and emptied your temple and purified your holy place and lit candles in your holy courts and established these 8 days of Hanukkah, grateful to acknowledge and to praise your great name. As we gather on this Shabbat Hanukkah, the only Shabbat Hanukkah this year at least, we turn our thoughts to those in need of healing. Those of you joining us virtually, you can have access to the e-news where you got a link to our Misheberach list. You can offer names by typing them in the comments so we can all see them. And for us here around the sanctuary, they offer you the opportunity to share names starting on this side. Over here. Thank you. Over here. As we think of those in need of healing, page 371, we join in the Misheberach. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, companionship, and peace. It is now time for our Simcha moment. We invite you to share a special Simcha, a joy from this past week. It may include a birthday, anniversary, good news, and accomplishments. For those of you online, you can type the Simcha in the comments line. At least on Facebook Live, I'll be able to read them in just a moment. For those of you here in person, we invite you to come up to the Simcha microphone. There is an X. You can stand on the X. We ask you do not touch the microphone, and we ask you that each person states their name and they share their simcha in about 1 or 2 sentences, and we thank you for that.
Hi, I'm Leslie,
And I have to say, you all are my simcha, the people of Beth Torah, because we've been doing nightly candle lightings on our streaming platforms, and it took us 3 days to really get it right, and you stayed with us. People were there on the third night to say, well, maybe this is the night they'll get it right. So thank you all, everyone who has stayed with us for that, and we've got a few more to go.
And you didn't say who you were, but this is Leslie.
She did.
Oh, you did say?
She did.
Oh.
Very quick. I'm not Leslie. I'm Howard. Who am I? And if you've been following any of our social media or get the e-news or any of that stuff, as of this past Sunday, I have turned over the religious school to Morgan Fastbinder. Yay. Really excited. I said when I volunteered to take the task on originally in August that I would stay on until we found exactly the right person, and I am 100% confident that we found the right person in Morgan.
And your wife was very happy.
You can stay here since we need you for this.
I'm Warren, and yesterday I celebrated the 40th anniversary of my 29th birthday.
Hello, it's me. And our simcha is that after a 3-year wait, we finally were able to hold our pick a party. Now, this is 2 in 1 because there were people who waited almost 3 years, and it was about olive oil tasting, and I had purchased a big olive tree over 3 years ago, and now it's this high. So it grew a lot waiting for the party to happen. And it finally happened. And you could not see us because that was the first night when we were supposed to light the candles, and it failed. So it failed. Operator.
We got a little longer each night.
We got a little longer every night. So, but there were a lot of very lovely people that say hi to the camera, and they were very happy. They all line up and they sang and all that. But we enjoyed it. Nobody else could see them. But it was a great way to have finally our pick a party and to welcome Hanukkah together. We now, did I see any online? I'm sorry, I don't want to skip anybody. Were there any online? I'm sorry. Claudia says that her grandparents had their 65th wedding anniversary this week.
Imagine liking somebody for 65 years all in a row.
Wonderful. Anything else? That was it. Wonderful. As we gather all our simchas, we offer a prayer. Divine source of blessings, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. As we turn now to you with gratitude, as we share the happiness of those who have marked their birthday, anniversaries, good news, and accomplishments. Adonai, be with them now and always. May they be blessed with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow, and with much health and happiness now and always. So we honor each one of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community. Together we join to mark this sacred occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. So it is that time again when we talk about the many gifts of Hanukkah. and over again, we come back to three main ideas: story, song, and light. And this year, we decided to focus on stories. And there will be some songs too, but
Always. Sharing our stories is powerful. On a practical level, sharing stories helps us learn by taking dry intellectual material and making it interesting or even compelling. I don't know about you, but I can't count the number of times I thought I was just listening to a story, and it turned out I was actually learning. Stories appeal to our senses, to our imaginations, and to our emotions. They can tweak our memories, remind us of things we haven't even forgotten yet. Because stories connect directly into our emotions, they not only keep us more easily and deeply engaged, they help us more easily and deeply connect with each other. In the darkness of ignorance, forgetfulness, or fear, stories bring forth light.
and we really use stories every week in our Divrei Torah and our sermons and songs, in our adult learning sessions. This past year, we shared our stories about Israel, memories of loved ones, social justice work, as well as our hopes and dreams for the future. We look forward to hearing stories from our earliest members about what the Beth Torah community meant to them. And in preparation for tonight, we gathered your stories about Hanukkah. So here's a story from Debbie Bass. If you're watching, Debbie, hi.
Starting from when Tori was 2 years old, Tori is Debbie's daughter, one of Debbie's daughters. She and Debbie did a Hanukkah presentation to the class at school. They would give out chocolate gelt, dreidels, and make potato latkes for people to fry. This became so popular that the school had them do that not just for Tori's class, but for the entire grade, whatever grade Tori was in. And she carried on this tradition for first graders when she was a teacher's assistant her senior year. It made Debbie so proud to have her daughter lead this education project.
We can rarely know the impact that we have on others. Who knows how many people Debbie and Tori touched with their classroom visits, how many opinions, and misconceptions about Jews and Judaism were altered because their willingness to share their love for Hanukkah with joy and enthusiasm. Imagine the ripples from one tiny pebble of an action. And sometimes we don't have to imagine. Take, for instance, the story from Elaine Tobias. And Elaine, if you're there, hi.
Elaine did not grow up Jewish. In fact, she grew up in a town with only one small synagogue. But when she was in the second grade, one of the boys in her class brought a Hanukkah. They turned out the lights, and he lit the candles. And she says that to this day, she can close her eyes and see those candles burning. That moment planted the seeds of her Jewish journey.
Elaine often thought over the years about this boy who had such a small but significant influence on her Jewish journey. And the last few years, she found him and reconnected, thanks to Facebook, I'm sure,
Yes.
and was able to share with him how he was part of her Jewish story. In the window, when you can see the glow from my menorah on newly fallen snow, I will set you 6 little candles on this 6th night of Hanukkah. Our final memory comes from Beth Oberman. Hi, Beth, if you're there.
Every year, Beth helped her mother-in-law fry latkes for the big holiday gathering. Being a classic Jewish mother, no one was allowed to go hungry, so this meant making upwards of 100 to 150 latkes between the two of them. They had everything down to a science. Beth took her electric griddle over, and the two women figured out which two plugs they could use and not blow out the fuses. They used the same size scoop, and they knew exactly when to turn the latkes so they were all the same, crispy golden brown. Beth's mother-in-law has since passed away, but Beth has adapted her latke recipe into something quicker and simpler. But cooking with her mother-in-law in the kitchen are some of Beth's fondest memories. It's funny how a story can spark a memory or an emotion, and soon we are basking in the glow of it all. It reminds me of how we are required to place our Hanukkahs in the window so the world can see our light. I have a candle. It's not very big, but on Hanukkah, I'm going to light my candle. On Hanukkah, my candle will go bright, and on Hanukkah, I shall sing my song.
Story is important. It's how we remember. We tell stories at Passover, at Pesach, and at Purim, and at Hanukkah. It's how we remember who we are and where we came from. The tales we recite and the songs we sing keep our story, the story of the Jewish people, vibrant and alive. The story of Hanukkah is told in two places. In the Talmud, where the focus is the miracle of the oil, and in the second book of Maccabees, a Jewish book that did not make it into the official count of the Hebrew Bible. Its story is a bit different. Now Judah Maccabee and his followers recovered the temple and Jerusalem, and they celebrated for 8 days with rejoicing in the manner of Sukkot, remembering how not long before, during Sukkot, they had been wandering in the mountains and caves like wild animals. Two stories, one divine hero and the other a human feat. Both are part of our Jewish story.
And our story is rich. It is full of competing and complementary voices. Now, much of the Jewishness with which we are familiar is of Ashkenazi origin, Germany, France, and Eastern Europe. It makes sense when you consider that 2/3 of Americans identify as Ashkenazi, and further, most of the Jewish life depicted in American media, on television, and in the movies is some version of your Yiddish-speaking New York Jew. But Jewish history is not a single dish seasoned from a tiny palette of spices. The stories of our people are told in many languages and are made up of many flavors.
Sometimes the flavor comes from the style of music, as in the case of this version of Maoz Tzur, written in Renaissance Italy. Maoz Tzur Yeshuati Lechanae Shabbat Shalom. Anochi Neshom Toda Nezarea Letachin Matbeot Mitzar Amena Azekmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. Or the flavor can also come from both the music style and the language, in this case, Sephardic music and Ladino. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, com alegrias e prazer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, com alegrias e prazer. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Ole.
When we think of storytellers, we often think of our older adults, maybe sitting around a fire telling tales of long ago. But our younger members have just as much to share. I would like to invite Isaac Young up to the piano to share one of our favorite Hanukkah tunes. As he plays, I invite you to sit back, listen, and imagine the story of a Hanukkah party unfolding before you. Isaac, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Isaac. That was lovely. And thank you for being part of our Hanukkah story this evening. As we come to an end, we share words by Rabbi Rachel Berenblatt. If we give you more light, will you give us more light? Every night, another candle as we move past the solstice. Will you give us more light to lift us towards building? As we move past the solstice, we rededicate our hearts. To lift us toward building is the work of the season. We rededicate our hearts and we find you waiting. The work of the season, clearing away spirit's cobwebs, as we find you waiting to pick up our tools again. Clearing away spirit's cobwebs, after our lamp burned low, we pick up our tools again to add the next story. After our lamps burn low, we can write another ending as we add the next story. Our futures is our hands. We can write another ending as we give you more light. Our future is in our hands. Every night, another candle. חושך לגרש, בידינו אור ואש, כל אחד הוא אור קטן, וכולנו אור איתן, סורה חושך על השחור, סורה מפני האור, סורה חושך על השחור, סורה מפני האור.
We come to banish the darkness. In our hands are light and fire. Each one of us is a small light. Together, we are a great light. Be gone, darkness. Go away from the light.
באנו חושך לגרש, בידינו אור ואש, כל אחד הוא אור קטן, וכולנו אור איתן, סורה חושך על השחור, סורה מפני האור, סורה חושך על השחור, סורה מפני האור. Thank you, everybody, Leslie and everybody, for being part of our sermon and story in this beautiful Hanukkah evening. We join together on page 586. If you're able, please stand for Aleinu Leshabeach.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latit gedula leotzei breshit, shelo asanu keyoyei haratzot, velo samaru kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. As we prepare for our moment of remembrance, I invite you to turn to page 596. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God, and in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We are observing the Shloshim period for Gary Goldberg, brother and brother-in-law of Ronnie and Larry Lerner. And on this Shabbat, we remember the following yortzites of members of our congregation: Betty Adler, Irving Bandcover, Joseph L. Cohen, Martha Deutsch, Stanley Preston Eisenberg, David Goldstein, Herbert Goldstein, Maurice Jerwick, Julie Ann Kaplan, Ruth Litvin, Stanford Mallon, Dan Markham Sr., Andrew Peterson, Benjamin Polsky, Rose Reisman, Anne Agron Rosenblum, Jeanette Saltz, Tilly Steinzig, Brett Swade, Edith Tabor, Stanley Trembelek, Kathy Trenton, Ruth Turner, Molly Weinling, Shirley Wennick, Carl Willis, Laura Marie Young. Zichronam livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. Kaddish Yatom is on page 598. Itgadal ve'itkadash shemei rabba, be'alema divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דע אמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו.
it is time for some of our announcements. We have special thank you to Susie Adams, Howard Pittler, and Warren Sickle, and Leslie, our musicians this evening.
And special thanks to Isaac Young, Debbie Bass, Elaine Tobias, and Beth Oberman for sharing their stories and talents with us tonight.
Friday night honor special thanks to Karen and Lodja and Davis Peisman and the boys for being here, and for afterwards for the Kiddush, we are thanking Bobby Young, Mary Crouch Young, and Isaac Young, who are going to be leading us in the Kiddush in the Ulam in just a few minutes.
Our Shabbat celebrations continue tomorrow morning with Sichat Shabbat, our Shabbat conversation in the library, and Shabbat morning worship back here in the sanctuary, and both will actually be multi-access this week.
And looking a bit ahead, Shabbat Shira, it's coming up. The choir rehearsal starts Wednesday, January 4th. Contact Leslie if you're interested in singing or playing with us.
We have 2 adult learning opportunities coming up in January. We're going to have a new moon celebration, learning about Rosh Chodesh, and that is in concert with B'nai Yehuda, and that is on the 3rd Thursday of the month. And we have Sunday morning Musar during religious school, so that'll be on the 2nd Sunday of the month, starting January 8th. You can reach out to Jill Madoff with any questions. It's on the website. It's on the kiosk. We got QR codes. You just go, and you can go see everything.
After our closing song, we invite you to join us in the Ulam for Kiddush and Amotzi and for the Onek. And I'm going to hand this over to you because I don't know that I can do everything, sing and actually man the thing. So if you haven't had the pleasure, we invite you to stand and sing with us a song that we think is very appropriate for the kind of weather we're having today. So please stand and join us.
Tom Lehrer, folks, who is still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's still alive.
I don't know what he's doing.
Living in California, of course.
Probably, yeah.
I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I spent Shavuos in St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the spot for me. Those Eastern centers, I can't endure them. So every year I pack my gear and come out here till Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur then out in Mississippi. But in December there's no place for me. I meet the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah. Like a baby in his cradle, I'll be playing with my dreidel, spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I spent Shavuos in East St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the spot for me. Those eastern winters, I can't endure them, so every year I pack my gear and come out here till Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur way down in Mississippi. But in December there's just one place for me. I'm in the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah. Every California lady, every
my dreidel, Judas Maccabeus, if he could only see us
spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Take care of each other out there. Happy Hanukkah.